Hey friends, welcome back. We are going to do lesson 13 for phonics. So let me get my screen sharing. Oops, here we go. All right, lesson 13. So our learning targets today, I can read words with two different spellings for the f sound. I can choose the correct punctuation mark to use in a statement, question, and exclamation. I can ask and answer questions about key details in the story, The Visit. So our sound review, let's review the f as in fit. So repeat this sound several times. F, f, f. Now you try. Good. Notice this, the bar on there is very long, so this is a very common spelling. So let's do a sound review. I'm going to say some words while you close your eyes and you raise your hand when you hear the word that begins with the f sound. All right, so listen carefully. Number one, fast, fast. Do you hear that F sound? Your hand should be up. Number two, face, face. Do you hear the F sound? Your hand should be up. Number three, vet, vet. Do you hear the F sound? No, there's no F sound there. It's a V. Number four, thin, thin. Do you hear the F sound? No, there either because it's a TH, isn't it? Number five, fun, fun. Do you hear the F sound? Your hand should be up. Number six, this, this. Do you hear that F sound? No, it's got the TH sound. Number seven, farm, farm. Do you hear the F? Yes, your hand should be up. Number eight, van, van. Do you hear the F sound? No, it's got a V sound. Number nine, friend, friend. Do you hear the F sound? Yes, your hand should be up. And our last one, number 10, vend, vend. Do you hear an F sound? No, it's a V sound again. Good job, guys. So notice our sound review. We had fast and faith had the F sound. We had vet that had the V, thin that had the TH, fun had the F sound, this had a TH, farm had the F sound, van had a V, nine, friend had the F sound, and vend had a V sound. Great job, guys. All right, so we have the alternatives. We have f and f. Notice we have f in fit and f in stuff. The power bar is lower on the single F for fit, like frog and life, but the power bar is smaller on the double F, like in stuff and off, because you do not see those double Fs a lot. So let's look at 13.1. So let's get over here. So 13.1. So the directions say, I'm going to take it down to the directions. Nope, no directions there. Okay, well, on here you have got to choose the word to go in the sentence. So let's look at the words at the top. You have muffins, off, ginger, legend, after, traffic, stagecoach, matches. So what you're going to do is you have 8 sentences that have blanks. You have to choose the word to go in the blank. So number 1, Will you munch on blank snaps after dinner? What's going to go in that blank? Ginger, ginger. So you're going to write ginger on number 1. And then make sure you mark it off after you've used it, okay? So you're going to do the same thing all the way down through number 8. All right? So you're going to go all the way down through number 8. Okay, so I'm going to bring it up for that one. So let's go back to our slides. So let's look at some grammar. We've learned about 3 different types of sentences. We've learned about statements that end with a period and they tell us something. We've talked about questions. They ask us something and they end with a question mark. And then we've talked about exclamations, which is exciting sentences, and they end with an exclamation mark. So a statement is a sentence that tells you something and ends with a period. For example, I brush my teeth 3 times a day. The dog likes to play fetch. She lives on Main Street, and my sister is in 3rd grade. Those are all statements. Then a question is a sentence that asks something. Do you like to play soccer? Where did you go last summer? What is the name of your street? How old are you? Those are all questions because they all end with a question mark and they're asking you something. Exclamations. An exclamation is a sentence that has feelings of excitement, okay? I love 1st grade. My classroom is the best. Kate had a lot of fun. I love cats so much. They have exclamation marks at the end because they show excitement. So now I want you to think of an example of these types of sentences. For a statement, what kind of sentence could you say for a statement? I love my dog. It's a statement, isn't it? And it ends with a period. Question. What could you say for a question sentence? Do you like dogs? That's asking, isn't it? An exclamation mark. I could always rearrange. I go, I love my dog. I'm showing excitement and feeling, right? All right, so let's read more sentences together, and I'm going to need your help deciding which punctuation mark to use. Okay, let's fix this sentence. Did they catch him? What kind of sentence is that? It's a question, so it needs to end with a question mark. Great job. Let's fix this sentence. That's cool. So what do you think? Excitement. So you think exclamation? You're right, an exclamation point and an exciting sentence. That's cool. So let's fix this sentence. Bart shaped up in the end. So is that a statement, a question, or an exclamation mark? It's a statement because it's telling us something, right? And it ends with a period. So let's look at our worksheet 13.2. So on 13.2, notice these sentences here. You have to determine which punctuation to add to the first 5 items. So you have to decide, is it a period, a question mark, or an exciting mark? That's going to go in one of those 5, okay? Then on the bottom, you've got to create your own question, exclamation, and statement. So you've noticed the first one will be a question, the next one will be exciting, and number 8, a period, like a statement. Okay, so you have to create your own there. Okay, let's go back. All right, friends, now we're going to read The Visit. The Visit. Today's story is about what happens after Jack finishes telling his tale at the campsite. Now, when Kate and everyone arrived at the campsite, there was work to do to set up their camping gear. What sorts of things did Kate and Max have to do to set up the campsite? Do you remember? They had to set up the tent, didn't they? And it took them a while to set up the tent. I think it would take me a while to set up a tent too. Well, Kate and Max had to unpack sleeping bags, tents, lanterns, and matches, and food. And they also had to set up tents before going to sleep. There are other things that have to be done when camping. So let's preview some spellings. We have the ending of ed, stuffed, hoisted, and flipped. Notice it sounds like the t there, stuffed. Hoisted does not, flipped does. Now we've got words that end with ing, ing, telling, standing, bedding. Other two-syllable words that you'll see, visit, raccoons, clatter. And then our tricky words, let me move myself up here. What, who, why, and because. All right. So let's preview some vocabulary. We have pawpaw. What's a pawpaw? That's what we call a grandfather, right? A papaw. Then we have raccoons. They're furry little animals about the same size as a cat, and they usually live in the woods. We have foxes. They're furry little animals about the size of a small dog that usually live in the woods. Clatter is a loud noise that sounds like things banging together. We have scraps, are little bits and pieces. Scram, a warning to leave quickly. And get lost, an expression used to tell someone to leave quickly. So let's read today's story to find out what happens at the campsite after Jack's tale. Okay, so let's get to our story. All right, the visit. After telling us the tale, Jack said, "It's time to pack up the food." We stuffed the food into a large pack with a rope on it. Jack tossed the rope up into a tree and hoisted the food pack up so that it was hanging 10 feet off the ground. "Papaw," said Max, "why do we have to keep the food up in the tree?" "Because it will keep the food safe from foxes and raccoons that would like to snack on it," Jack said. And there they're hoisting the food up. Hoisting means to lift up. After that, we crawled into the tents, flipped off our lanterns, and went to sleep. Nan and I slept well until a loud clatter outside woke us up. "What was that?" I asked. "I can't tell," said Nan as she hugged me close to her. There they are sleeping. Jack ran outside with his lantern and yelled, "Get out of here, scram, get lost." When we went out, we saw Jack and Max standing there. Jack had his lantern. "Jack," Nan asked, "who came to visit?" "I did not see it," said Jack, "but I'm betting it was a fox who was looking for some scraps of food. He bumped into the pots and pans. The clatter of the pots and pans must have scared him off." "Is that why we hoisted the food pack up in the tree?" Max asked. "That's why," said Jack. Okay. So let's go back. Oh, let's go on into our worksheets here. So our 13.3, the visit. It says fill in the blank with words from the box. You have tree, pots and pans, pack, tents, and lantern. Now, if you notice, pack is already marked off because if you look at number 1, it has been written there. They stuffed the food into a large pack. So you're going to have to put those 4 into the remaining blanks, okay? Into those. Then you're going to come on down to number 6 and answer that question. Why did Jack hoist the food up in the tree? Why did they do that for? And you don't have to write the page number down. And then number 7, it says draw one of the parts of the visit. So you're going to draw a part there. Okay. All right. Who is the narrator telling the story? So who is telling the story about the visit? Is the person telling this story? The story said that Jack tossed the rope the story said that Jack tossed the rope up into a tree and hoisted the food pack up so that it was hanging 10 feet off the ground. What does hoist mean? Oh, I just told you that. It means to pull up, right? How do you know? How do I know what? Well, hoist means to pull things up. So we're just going to leave it at that because that question is not very it's not explaining enough for me. So number 3, why should you keep your food high up at night when camping? To keep the animals out, right? Number 4, how do Kate and Nan feel when they hear that clatter in the night? They probably feel scared because they hugged each other, didn't they? Who does Jack think came to visit the campsite? He thinks the foxes did, right? Yes, and they bumped into the pots and pans. All right, our learning targets. I read words with 2 different spellings for the f sound. I can choose the correct punctuation mark to use in a statement, question, and exclamation. And I can ask and answer questions about key details in the story, The Visit. All right, my friends, that's the end of our lesson. I will see you back here tomorrow. Bye, friends.